Hello and welcome to the Working Perspectives Podcast presents For Dads by Dads. I'm your host, Old Uncle Matty, Matt Lavelle, joined as always by Benoit Payud Kisse, Bern Podkissy, and the most handsome man to ever walk a turn at North Willie School of Hard Knocks, Liam Reese. Today, we are diving deep into the absolute chaos that is our kids' sports and activities. We aren't just giving you one perspective, we're giving you three. I'm coming at you as the married dad, the guy heavily relying on my shared color-coded calendar and my wife's endless patience just to survive the season, while also taking on brave and sometimes foolish task of being a volunteer coach. And then our boy Benditi Padalini, Bern Podkissy, gives us the view as a divorced dad who is navigating the wild world of co-parenting, weekend custody swaps, and the baseball diamond, and splitting the cost of travel teams, possibly. And rounding out our trio is the hero, the lone wolf, the last of the Iron Man, the every play, every down, and even on special teams, single dad, Liam Reese. He's the guy who's running the whole logistic operation completely solo with no backup on the bench. We're talking sideline drama. We're talking the financial black hole of sporting gear and why we do this to ourselves week after week. And now we're getting into it. So, boys, how we doing? How we living? How we brewing? I just want to get it started. Let's kick it off. I want to talk logistics, the schedule monster, right? So the goal with this is to establish, we're going to establish like how everybody handles physical reality of getting a kid fed, dressed, in the right uniform, and to the field on time. I'll tell you, I've said it before, I'll say it again. High income area and the divide and conquer. Two things you guys can be jealous of. I mean, I rely on the wife for just about damn near anything. The scramble of the divide and conquer when two kids, I got one that's a baby and one has a game and we're trying to get things done and moving. I mean, the way I can just hand one off and just concentrate on one, forget about it. The dynamic of one parent coaching while the other handles the emotional support on the sidelines, it's pretty bad. But Lishmigli, I want to start with you. Talk to me, Daddy. The reality of having zero backup. If you're sick or stuck at work, there's no plan B. Who's going to take the kid to practice?
You're talking about color-coded calendars and shit. It is just complete, chaos. You know that scene in Home Alone where it's where they're all running, where they realize they woke up late, and that's fucking every day when I get home. We have to, run as fast as we can, get her fed, then move on. Especially when sideline cheer starts, it's complete fucking chaos, dude, because it's 3 nights of that, 1 night of the gymnastics, then another night at the cheer boss, and then they have games on Saturdays. It is nonstop chaos, dude.
Dude, how many times I remember watching Home Alone being like, how did they forget Kevin? And then I had a kid and I was like, and then I had 2 kids and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
God, if I had any more than 2 of these,
they had a ton of kids there. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had
20.
They had 11. I think they were 11. I count off to 11 or 12 in the van.
Oh.
Dude, I got 2. You give me 12. I'm not my return percentage is not going to be 100%. There's going to be one. There's going to be one loss to the wind every once in a while. We'll go back and get them. It'll be okay.
There's going to be a traumatizing death of at least one of these bastards.
Maybe not a death.
I don't know.
They'll talk to a therapist about it.
Benditi, what about you, Papi Chulo? How we looking schedule wise?
Schedule wise has been easy so far. When I was living with the kids, my daughter was too young, so it was just my son. So it was soccer practice, and then we would do these running races every Sunday. Quarterly they have 4 weeks of running races. So when he was in kindergarten, when they were 3, it was a 40-yard dash.
Oh, sweet.
60-yard dash, and then by the time he was in kindergarten, it was a quarter mile. And then
so it's like track for little ones.
And it's just every Sunday. It's really easy. They set them up in a big park. They have a little track. We let the 2-year-olds run, the 3-year-olds run, 4-year-olds,
Okay.
Oh
5-year-olds,
wow! Is this
whatever.
part of
Yeah,
the
that sounds
school or
cool.
just like something they do?
No, it's a national service. I'll send you guys. I'll send you the link, Maddie, because they probably have it around you.
I
But
mean, obviously.
they do take your bibs off as you come through. So like the one year he was like he won. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like his aggregate over 4 races was the fastest. So they track it a little bit. It's not expensive. It's like 20 or $25, you know.
love
And it's
that.
Nice.
and it's always like later in the day on Sunday. So it's perfect. It's like 4 o'clock on Sunday. Let's get this little maniac out, sprint him around a little bit.
Yeah, that sounds
and
cool.
then,
Yeah, drain them and then
Mhm.
see ya. Right?
But
Then
then
it's time for dinner and time for Sunday night smack it and let's call it a weekend.
yeah. And now with my son, he's playing soccer and he's gonna run track in the summer. Uh
Nice.
he didn't want to play basketball this year because he was like, Dad, I can't even put the ball between my legs. And I was like, buddy,
Yeah.
I didn't pick
No
up a
one
basketball.
can.
I didn't pick up a basketball
Yeah.
until I was in 3rd grade, man. Like it's not how it works. We're not all going to
Yeah.
be LeBron off the jump. But
But
so
Liam, let me ask you this. Go ahead. What, Bern?
I was going to say the only hard part is for me is having to travel 2 hours to like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that probably
sucks.
sucks.
But dude, you got to be looking forward to it though,
No, it's
right?
great. It's the best.
It's the best.
Yeah.
That's the best. That's the best part of your week is watching your kid play soccer.
100%.
Yeah, I
100%.
bet.
Man,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah. I mean, it sucks. Our soccer field is our backyard. I walk right out to a park that's sponsored by the township. It's tough, guys. It's tough.
Oh, so that's probably why it's not a big deal to like be a volunteer coach. You're not
Right.
you can walk to it. Yeah.
Yeah, that, and I don't want my daughter playing for some fucking scrub. Okay, like what are we
Okay.
doing here?
Well, Maddie,
You know?
let's bring this up. Throw it to you though. You are a multi-year tenured youth sports coach.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't coached anything yet. Liam, have you coached anything?
Nah.
No.
Nah,
So
she's done gymnastics and
that's what I
cheer.
mean. Like
The fuck am I gonna coach, you know?
that's what I figured, but I had to ask. I wanted to make
I got
sure
like
it was-
I got a kind of talking to at gymnastics for like being too like they're like, look, just let the coaches. She made Eric's mom made like a general announcement of like, parents, please let the coaches coach the girls. You don't have to be following them around
Yeah,
from
I mean
station
that
to
is
station.
true. Just let them go. They know more than you do about gymnastics and
But
cheer
I'm
and
just
stuff,
I'm not
so.
saying like how to. I wasn't saying how to do the moves. I was just saying like, hey, I was telling my daughter like, pay the fuck
Enthusiasm.
attention. Like, watch what the
Mhm.
coach is doing. You're out
Yeah.
here with your thumb in your ass. Like, watch the
Mhm.
coach. Do what the coach tells you. That's
Yeah,
all I was
sometimes you're
saying.
like that because you're like, yo, let's go. Like I'm paying for this. Like, come on.
Yeah, like
You
you're
know?
fucking here jacking off.
So-
I want you out here
Yeah.
training.
Yeah, I can do
Here's
that at
something.
home.
Here's something I mentioned before, and I guess it's going to be pertinent to this, is that when I first started taking my son to soccer when he was like 5, he'd have practice 6 to 7 on Tuesday and Thursday. They'd play a game on Friday. But it was expected that all the parents stayed at the practice. Now,
Mhm.
that to me was mind blowing, just because I never went to a practice in my entire life where one of my parents were there. Now, my folks did a
Yeah.
good job of trying to get the games. At least most of the time, at least one of them will be able to make there. I had 2 little brothers too, so sometimes it's just like, hey, how was your game today?
It changed because a bunch of twats ruined it because
Helicopter
now-
parents, right?
Yeah, somebody ruined it because now they do it for us too. And you used to be able to just drop them and come back, but now
Go.
it's now I have to be there in case during practice she needs to go to the bathroom so that I can walk with her to take her to the bathroom, which
Right.
tells me that somebody did something. Like
Yeah.
somebody's kid did something dumb and didn't come back or something, or somebody's
Yeah.
parents complained or something.
Yeah.
So now we have to do it that way.
But there was
it's
a
just wild.
lawsuit and some bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember my mom driving me and 3 of my friends to practice, and
Yeah.
then somebody else's mom would pick us up, and then
Same.
somebody else's mom would take us the next time. They just it
Dude,
was
I wouldn't
Yeah.
even coordinate really. Like, you just knew the kids in your neighborhood.
yeah.
you
Who
know?
was getting
Yeah.
picked up today?
They're but it's like if one, I remember it was the Mrs. Byers, they had a huge van, right?
So
So
just,
like I
Mhm.
just
knew I was
hop in.
like, I'm not even on their team, but if we're playing the same night, I'll just wait till their game's
Mhm.
over because they'll give me a ride back because I live a block away.
Yeah.
You
Uh-huh.
know, like you
So
know,
so my point was so when they were like, you got to stay at practice, there were like a lot of parents who like parked their lawn chairs like on the sideline.
yeah,
My
That's what we
yeah,
kids.
do now. Yeah.
So what I did for that was I parked as far away as I could. I let them know I was there. I would sit in my car and listen to a Phillies game and like
Mhm.
keep an eye through the rear view because my thing is he needs to learn other voices than just me and his mom's. Like he needs to learn
Yeah.
to respect
yeah.
the coach. He needs to learn to respect the teacher. He needs like to understand these are authority figures when we're not there. And the
I
last
think
thing I
when they
wanted to
get
do, I want him to be coachable is my thing. And so
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to just let the coach. I'm not going to be the
Well,
guy who
then
interferes. I
let
might yell on Saturday morning, like get back,
yeah,
but I'm not going to be there when he's trying to actually teach these kids how to play. Like I'll do whatever I want
yeah.
with him in the backyard, but when he's at
So
your practice.
yeah. So let's talk about this then. Let's talk about like sideline culture and like the other parents and stuff like that. Because here's my dilemma, right? So I mean, it's like almost like a coach's burden in a way. There's a lot of great things. And I'll tell you, I love the coach. Like knock on wood, this will be upcoming. This will be my fifth season coaching the soccer team, right? Like
Mhm.
I do enjoy it. It is a lot of fun,
Oh, I know you
but
do.
right, but like you get into it, you know what I mean? But the pressure of like when you're volunteering to coach your kid's team, I try to avoid like, the dad ball thing where it's like I'm being overly tough on my own kid because I do this intentionally. I'm tougher on my own kid than any other kid on the team because I don't
Mhm.
ever want to hear like he plays favorites. You know
You
what I
got to
mean?
be.
Mhm.
Because the
Because
second you're not, everyone knows it. We've all been on
exactly.
teams where the coach's kid gets away with murder,
She
and
get
like,
dude, my daughter, like I'm harder on her than anybody else. And I think all the parents know that, where it's like, well, but also like if she messes up, I gotta let her know, you know? But I mean like different kids you gotta coach differently. Like some kids respond to like, the what do getting a little not loud, but like being a little more assertive. But some kids you gotta be like, hey, look, just get past it. You're good. Like this was people make mistakes. You're good. Just finish strong. I don't know. I'm
Mhm.
honestly, I just found out that my team's color for the upcoming season, we are the orange team this
oh
year. First
boy,
time.
wow,
Yeah.
Maddie, it's a big
Eh,
shift for you guys.
So the team name, I'm
Whole other side
thinking
of the color wheel.
I'm thinking Orange Crush.
Orange Crush is a
Will
good name.
Orange Crush is good? Will the girls get that? Will the girls get that?
Does it matter? I mean, doesn't matter if they get it or not.
I
They
I'll have
like
to
will
Orange
put my
Crush.
foot
eventually.
down on this one.
I
Because
like
the
Orange
other
Crush.
option's the Tigers, which I don't hate.
No,
But
Orange Crush kills is way
The
better than that.
Orange
Tigers.
Crush kills. I think all the parents will be like, no, 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 we're good if we do Orange Crush.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, no, I'm saying but I tell you this, the parents, I really do like the parents that we have on the sideline. But it is a thing, like any parent that I know, like when a parent wants to get involved, I'll pull them off. Like if I know they're like sitting there, but I can see they want to be involved, I'll go up to them and be like, hey, if you want to help or jump in or do you want to join us for this or one of the coaches isn't going to be here this weekend, we could use you. And if I know they'll say yes, boom, I got them. You know what I mean? But like sometimes the parents want to just watch, and I get that too. But it's like,
Sure.
I don't mind anybody that wants to help can help. But if you want to stay on the sideline and if you want to be positive, they know. I think the parents know, and this is kind of a general thing at this age. Like there'll be no like cracking down or being negative to your kid. Like if you're putting your kid down, I'm fucking sending you off. I'm not dealing with that. You know,
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
don't be
there's
derogatory towards your kid. There's plenty of that.
being tough on your kid is getting on your kid when you're like they're not competing or they're not putting in effort. It has nothing to do
Right,
with their
hustle. I don't
skill
want. Yeah,
or
hustle. Tell them
ability.
to
Yeah,
hustle.
that's it. Just hustle, man. As long as you're out
Get
there
some
working,
hustle
That's
out
the only
there.
time. That's the only time I say anything.
Yeah,
is when you can
that's all
tell
I
they're
Unless he's
dragging
not
ass,
like,
right?
yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
that's all I preach is hustle, hustle, hustle.
yeah,
You know? But yeah, no. So as guys on the sidelines, so Lashmigs, you've been on the sidelines for a long time. What
yeah.
do we got for sideline culture?
Well, ours is a little bit different because it's like mostly,
Women?
since it's cheer, yeah, there's moms. And it kind of sucks because it's not like they don't have dads, but their dads
Yeah.
like don't really go. And I think that kind of sucks, dude.
Yeah,
Like
I agree.
so their daughters are there doing the stuff or they have competitions. And I don't know, man. It just like cool, the mom's there, but they probably want to fucking show you too. You know what I
Right.
mean? No one says you
Right.
gotta like fall in love with it or
But
become like
I'll
a
tell
cheer maniac, but
I'll tell
they
you
want to
this
fucking
too.
they want you to see it. They
Yeah.
Liam,
want you to see it.
can I
Yeah.
ask you a question? So
Hmm.
you're not just talking about practices. You're saying even competitions,
Like
dads are
games, no games. We have sideline games, and you can tell there's some kids where like you
their
only
dad.
ever see
Yeah.
the mom, and then sometimes you'll see the dads like picking up for practices or something like that, and you're like,
Yeah.
well, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Dude,
never
it would
seen you
mean
anywhere before.
everything to that kid if that
Yeah,
like it sucks though that, like the mom is there every week and super committed, but like,
yeah.
it would make that kid's week if one time the dad
You
showed
know,
up.
you know they care if their dad sees it or not. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They
But
Big
fucking
time.
do.
what's the
Big
time
time.
stuff? Like that's
What's
what it
that?
is. I said, what's the time stuff? Like the amount of time you're putting into something, I think, is inversely proportional to how much you want someone to be proud of you for doing it when you're a kid.
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
you're doing
Yeah.
something for 10 or
Yeah, they
12
spend
hours a
all
week,
this time. Yeah, they spend all
like,
this time practicing and getting the routines down and stuff,
right, it
and
doesn't matter what it is.
learning the
It doesn't
stunts
matter
and the
what it is.
tumbles and everything, dude. They
Yeah.
fucking want you to see it. But that it's like that, and the like the volunteering and stuff. Every parent's supposed to volunteer at least 2 hours out of all the games. Like you got to either do Snack Shack or do the chains or do
Tickets, sell tickets or
yeah,
whatever,
like
depending on what
break
the thing
down all the
is. Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, yeah. And there's so many people that are just like, fuck, I'm not doing that shit.
Never even bothered.
And then when you go and they're on the sidelines, they're not even watching the fucking games. They're all like got their heads down on the phones.
Yeah.
So they don't have
Yeah.
time to volunteer. They're not watching the game. They're
They're
being
not
kids,
Yeah.
interested in the
dude.
sport taking place in front of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Didn't you do the snack stand? Didn't you win an award for like best volunteer?
mine was just for just volunteering in general because I've done stuff in their clubhouse, like some of the plumbing and stuff, and like
Damn.
I help with anything I can. Like when they have events and
Yeah.
stuff, stay to break everything down, get all the
Yeah.
equipment and everything,
And
and
your daughter's
you
like
know,
playing at that time, right? Dude, I remember that as a
some
kid.
of it she
Like you're
is.
like, yeah, go.
I try to line it up so that like, hey Layla, let's go. We're gonna go a couple hours early. I'll work the snack stand. You can just hang out like with the other kids that are there, and then when
Yeah.
you're done, your game starts or whatever.
And then
Yeah.
after that, we both put in our time and we can hit the bricks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I did that a lot. And yeah, and that year that I won it, I did a lot because most of the times, like your time would be up, and then they didn't get enough people to fill the spots or something. So you're like, all right, well, I'll stay for another one. Like I'll stay
Yeah.
for another
Yeah.
hour. Fuck it. And
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
do like
Yeah.
crossing guards too. Like you cross all the families and stuff because
Yeah.
since people don't
That's
know
a
how to
big
drive
thing.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, wasn't there
Yep.
that one dad that had like the cowboy hat and the boots? Didn't he do it for a long time? Right?
What for Squires?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't remember.
Uh,
I don't
It's a
remember.
great gimmick. It's a
Yeah,
great gimmick. You're like, listen, I'm
yeah,
going to do crossing guard 2 hours to start everything else, but I'm going to wear cowboy hat and boots, and people
yeah,
are going to get to know me. You're good. They
yeah.
pencil
Guy
you in there
sounds
every week.
awesome.
You're good for the day. Sounds
yeah.
like a great fun.
Dude, but
Hmm.
they have to. That's like that. There's been a crossing guard there for Squires since I mean, ever. Because they've had
Yeah,
to, because
yeah.
people are
Because the lot is
fucking.
across the street at Glen
Yeah,
Moore, and it's on
yeah,
Hancock Road. And
yeah.
dude, people are so stupid,
They're
dude.
the
So you
worst.
literally have to be there, like in a vest, like stop, dude,
Yeah,
stop.
yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah. People are, and they're like, no, I'm gonna run over this kid in it with his football gear. You know
Every
what I
time I've
mean?
done it, dude, and you get like the stare of death, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Because you're stopping somebody.
Whatever.
You're like, oh, shove off, dude. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're
You
like,
want
eat a
to,
dick, bro. Like,
yeah. You want to get a little quick manslaughter charge for killing a kid with his mom. You fucking
yeah.
douche.
You'll
Yeah,
be all,
Bern, what
you'll
do you
be all
think
right,
about?
dude. You're in a car, they're not. Let them go. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Bern, what do you think about sideline culture?
my silent culture is kind of weird now because like I'm not there. Like I could volunteer to work a snack bar, but he's still only playing like not every place we play has a snack bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like some of them
yeah,
are just fields. And like I'm generally not the one now taking him to practice. So I'm just kind of showing up for games. So like I
yeah.
don't really get a good feel of the parents. I wasn't down, I guess apparently at his soccer thing, I didn't realize, I didn't know they were having they had like a soccer party, or whatever. But at the end of the year, but apparently like they did like a parents versus kids. Like I didn't know.
Oh
I would have gone.
man.
Well, that's
You know
Oh
what I
actually
yeah.
mean?
that's actually
But
the
now I
plus
know it's
side.
kind of like the thing like that happens now. But so I just go down for games. So I'm like the guy who comes in, and then my daughter runs over to me, and then apparently like the other parents figure out who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Uh,
oh, that's August's sister. That's his dad. But like, I keep it chill, man. Like I am not the only thing I'll ever do is like I might yell something out once or twice a game, but I'll make sure it's never negative. It'll be like, great job, make sure you're getting back or something like that. You know what I mean? And I keep it really light. Really
Yeah.
light.
but dude,
Yeah.
the more you volunteer, the more you get in good with like the fucking people that like run everything, and then
Yep. Yep.
you're included in more stuff. They invite
Yeah.
you to things. There's like special events and
Yeah.
whatnot, and then your kid
Yeah.
gets to do all that shit, and they love it. You know, it's
Liam, I couldn't agree more. One of my goals for this year, I wasn't able to do it last year, even though I had the most kids selected for it, but it was Rec Select. I wanted to
hmm
coach that last year, but I didn't.
hmm
They say you have to have a kid on it to coach it, and I was like, all right, fine. And
Oh,
also, like, I have two goals this year. One, I want to be able to coach a game from the sidelines, and two, I would like to be Rec Select coach. But we'll
yeah.
see. I mean, that you also there is some politicking that does go on, but like you're right. The more you
Mhm.
do, the more you volunteer, the more you're there, the more you see like the more that the guys that run it know they can rely on you and your team's gonna have a good
Sure.
experience. They're all about it,
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Because I mean, I remember we had our first year, I ended up taking over as head coach because the head coach and the assistant coach just like they wouldn't show up some weeks, and I
It
was just
is
like,
it
what are we doing?
Yeah, it is an advantage for your kid. The more you're involved with that kind of stuff, it does like pull your kid into like you know what I mean? Into like all
The
of
Yeah,
it.
culture of it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for
Yeah, yeah,
sure.
yeah.
yeah.
Then they
Agreed.
know more
Agreed.
people. They're more open with everybody. They're more comfortable doing stuff. They're not shy. You know what I mean? It works out.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right, let's keep moving. Next thing I want to talk about. So, this is something, and Bern, I think this is something like you've kind of taken the role as. I'm talking about like the gear, like it's a little bit of a money spender, but like the gear and the stuff that you need. Like my daughter tried on her cleats from the fall season for soccer, and they still
Just
fit, and I was like, thank the gods, because
unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable.
I'm
If you
not
can get
buying another $80 pair of cleats for a
so
fucking 6-year-old.
if you
But
can
yeah,
get a fall and a spring
oh
out of your kids when
well,
they're like from like
she fit them
5
the
to
other
like
day.
10 years
So
old, you're in great shape
Dude,
yeah,
because
well, I'm saying she fit them the other day. The spring,
oh
the
by
game,
the
the
by the
season,
end of
the
the
season,
season, yeah, she'll be
well,
popping out of there.
the season doesn't start until after Easter. So by then, guess what? We could
It's only
be
2 weeks. It's only two
yeah,
weeks.
we could be buying new shoes after game one. You know what I
Here's what
mean?
I'll tell you. Your best case scenario is her big toe pops out right through the front of it halfway through her last game of the season, and you're like,
I
great,
mean,
now we know. No,
yeah.
I got my son cleats. He's
Well,
up
I
here too.
feel like, but that's part of like the deal now for you is that you're buying the gear as like that's kind of like you're in his thing now, right?
Well, it's not just me, right? Like so he's got uncles.
Okay,
So my
nice.
brother's got him like for Christmas. My brother Mike got him this really cool. It's like a little octagon. There's a soccer ball in the middle of it attached to like a little rope. And you can decide how much rope you want to put on it. So you can put like 3 feet or you can put like 30 feet.
Oh, nice.
So you can do like dribbling drills around it. Or if you want to put it 30 feet, you can like shoot at the goal, like put it like 30 feet away from a goal, shoot at it, and then like bring the ball back and stuff like that. So like, yeah, that's kind of where I'm going to try to support whatever they each want to do
Yeah.
athletically, because I think, and listen, if he's like, I'm not going to play a sport this season, I'm going to do a dance class. I'd be like, great, but it's 8 classes, you're doing all of them. Or you're
Yeah.
going to do a tumbling class, or you're going to do whatever. Like,
Yeah.
just
Whatever you're doing, you're committed to. I
be
agree.
doing something. And so, but
Yeah.
he's super committed to soccer. If I take him to like a park and there's 5 kids playing soccer, like he'll just go over there for an hour, and I can just hang with my younger daughter.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And she's
And he
doing
can compete with any age group.
every once in a while he comes back crying because someone caught him with an elbow or someone was mean, but that's every once in
Whatever.
a while, man. It's not every
It's also
time.
part of it.
And you got to
Yeah.
play with the bigger kids to get better. You know what
I
I mean?
never
True.
stop.
You gotta-
I never stop. Even if he's getting his ass kicked, I never stop. Like that's only
Yeah.
going to make you better. Um,
Yeah.
And my daughter's like, I play soccer too. She has like a little soccer program at school. They do like a drill once a week.
Yeah. 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 They do that at my son's school, soccer shots or whatever the hell
Soccer,
it's called.
soccer shots is what I was doing with them when I was in New York. Now they're in Reading. It's something else, but it's similar. It's like
Yeah.
net nuggets, or
Dude, I'll
something
tell
like that.
you, it's a genius enterprise because it's $25 for your kid. You get
It's
all the
like
kids
5
get is
sessions or 6
yeah,
sessions or whatever
and
it is.
all you have to show up with is a bag of balls and a net, and you had them. They really just run
5
around.
cones.
Yeah,
That's it.
and like they get
And
a
they all get a little
T-shirt.
they get a little jersey
Yeah.
at the end of the year. Yeah, no, it's brilliant. It's
Dude,
cheap.
I mean, think about it, like 10 kids, $250 is paid for every overhead, and if like you got 5 schools a day, you know what I mean? Like this guy is raking it in.
I looked into it when I was in York. I was like, let me get a soccer shots gig. What do these guys have? Like I bartend at night,
Yeah.
and it's a franchise company. And I realized like all of the instructors are like 19, 20, 21-year-old
Oh, yeah.
girls from like whatever D2 or D3 or like community colleges nearby.
Yeah.
So they make like $12 an hour. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So they make like 50
Yeah.
bucks. I was like, if I can do 15 soccer shot sessions, I don't know, what do they pay? $100 a shot? Like,
Yeah.
that'd be nice
So-
money. It's
yeah,
not.
I know this. So for me, my daughter did gymnastics and she did dance at one point. And I know for gymnastics, the leotards, they're a must have. I didn't think they were at first, but then I was like, oh wait, every time my daughter doesn't move, like her shirt comes up and her underwear pops out. So it's like, okay, she needs a fucking leotard. Now I get why they wear these things. But
Right.
but then I know for dance, when she did dance, she had one recital. She had to wear one outfit. The outfit was like $250, and she was
Never wore it again.
4 years old. Never wore it again. Liam, what is the cost for like your gymnastics outfits and the cheerleading outfits? Like, what's your big overhead when it comes to gear?
The shoes. You wouldn't believe how fast they tear these cheer shoes up.
Oh, that
Cheer
makes sense,
shoes?
though.
Yes.
That makes
Wait.
sense.
There's
Yes.
cheer shoes?
Yes,
Like they don't just wear
there's-
sneakers?
No, they're special cheer sneakers, and they fuck them up because they're always doing handsprings and round offs and all this shit. Dude, you wouldn't think they would, but they tear these things up. Even when you
Oh,
get the good
wow.
ones, they fuck these shoes up. But whatever,
Man.
you know.
But does everyone on the team have to get the same color?
You just have to make sure they're all white. Like but everyone wants the Nike ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
there's a company called like Chase or Chas or something like that, and that's like
Chase Apex?
no, it's just
Oh.
CHASSE. That's like a cheer brand.
Yeah.
We've gotten their shoes. They're pretty good. But all of
Yeah.
them, I mean, doesn't matter. You buy the good ones, it does not matter.
They're still
They
going to
just-
go right through.
Yeah, yep.
No kidding. They just
Yep.
because I mean they're flipping and flopping and flying everywhere.
That
They
is
just get
why they're
yeah,
stomping, they're cutting, you know what I mean? They slam down on
yeah.
their feet all the time. Yeah.
Damn, I would love to
And
see like the
and like
athleticism of these
think about
kids.
surfaces too. They're on all kinds of
Yeah,
different surfaces
Well, Matt,
while they're
there's
yeah,
doing
like
it.
certain levels. Some of the kids kind of like I got really lucky. Some of the kids like they're into it. You know what I mean? Like they're like I'm doing this and I'm gonna do all these like stunts and everything that's on like I'm
yeah,
doing this. And then
yeah,
they're the kids that like really like are like tumbling and
yeah.
flipping and it's fucking cool, man.
Man, that is cool. What is
My kid,
gymnastics class like for your daughter? Like, are they doing flips and tumbles and all that shit the whole
yeah, she does
time?
like handsprings and stuff. Right now, right
Man,
now,
that's
right now she's
incredible.
she's she's still learning the back tuck, but that's hard. The tuck is
Yeah.
hard, dude. That's
Dude, to
I
have the balls to do it is hard. God.
I can tell
Crazy.
watching her do this one because the handspring it only took her like, a couple months to like really like once she got it like nail it. The tuck is it's hard because you got to start from a standing position and do a backflip, like, you know what I mean, no running, no
Yeah.
springboard, no
Yeah.
nothing. You're from a standing position and you're doing a backflip.
I know eventually too that that'll be probably a requirement to make a team at the higher levels, the junior high, the high school. Like to be
if
able to do a standing back tuck is a usual requirement for cheerleading,
if
if I
you're yeah
remember
for some
correctly.
for those like those travel teams and stuff, they're going to
Yeah.
want you to be able to do certain things. I would say a handspring probably when you get
Yeah.
older. They're going to be
Yeah.
like you should, but you could always base or you could be a because like Layla is a base, but she tumbles and everything too, and she's
Yeah.
good. And she's good at like the routines. So the parts where they dance and stuff and do that. She
Yeah, you
fucking
got to be
yeah. She
choreographed and
like
insane.
kills at that, which again did not come from me. You know what I
No.
mean? Like staying with the music, like in
Li-
beat and everything. Like
Liam, you've talked about this several times
yeah,
about like any type of athleticism was not from you. And
yeah,
I don't see
yeah.
it. You're an athletic, good-looking fella.
Not the
You got a
yeah,
great face on you. You
yeah.
know, everyone talks about your hammer. Like, come on. We know
Thanks.
what
I,
you're
I
I
working with
mean,
there.
appreciate
yeah,
it.
stop
No, but
talking.
the flipping and the staying on tune and everything
Yeah,
definitely
I
not.
mean,
You
yeah.
know.
Dancing in general and having rhythm, I don't if my
Yeah,
daughter has it, it ain't from this guy. Tell you
yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah.
So
You are a goddamn dirty liar, Matt Lavelle.
well,
You
I can
know,
shake a tail. Come on.
did Matt Lavelle just say he can't dance? That's the greatest lie I've ever heard on this
Look, when
entire podcast.
dancing's outlawed, only the
Listen,
outlaws will
I
dance.
I appreciate modesty, but just
Uh,
for our listeners out there, Matt Lavelle can shake a tail fat. That's
well, what are you gonna do?
everybody
But
knows
hey,
that.
so this I want to move on to the next thing then. So the kind of I want to get, and this can get I don't want to get super emotional, but the kind of like the why we do it, right? So like
Hmm.
this will be our last thing we're gonna talk about, but how do you handle the car ride after like a brutal loss? Or how do you handle the car ride after a big fucking yet like way to go? You know, like
I'll get
so
emotional with it because
yeah,
her happiness is my fucking happiness. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like when
yeah.
she kills that, when they won a competition this year that they won their age group and they won the grand champs for the whole competition where they
No
scored
shit.
where their team scored the
Yeah.
most points out of everybody there.
Oh,
And that like watching them because they sit in this circle and they're announcing the winners and stuff. And dude, the reaction that they have, like when they
oh,
find
they're
out they won, and the
oh,
reaction
Pure
they have when
joy. Just pure
the
joy.
reaction they have when they found out they won, like the grand champ, like you watch like their faces and
yeah.
they're jumping up and down and shit, dude. It is
And they're like
fucking
holding each
awesome.
other and like,
Yes, it is
oh god, dude, that's
awesome
gonna bring a tear to my eye, man.
because they
Dude,
because they
that
just spent months working on this same routine, and when it
you know how
hits
hard
and
they
they do it,
worked.
it's fucking awesome. And then there's
Yeah.
been years where, you know what I mean, and it's just there were years where it was a rough year,
Well,
Yeah.
they're
like
sitting in that circle and their name's not getting called.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Or
Yeah.
if your
Yeah.
and
name gets called first, that's because you're like, you know, the bottom of the pack, or you know what I mean? Because they kind of announce it backwards, you know?
Yeah,
They'll
they're like
say,
everybody cheer for them.
yeah, and they'll be like,
so when they cheer for the other team, or when they announce the other team's name, and not if you're like the last two.
Yeah,
you're listening for the names.
Yeah, so you're in the sidelines, you're listening for the names, and you're like, didn't hear North Penn, didn't hear North Penn, and then they get to second place, and they're like, and the runners up, and they say a different school, you fucking everybody explodes because
the runners up are like, God damn.
Because North Penn,
that's always how it works, Maddie. The runners up is always in any kind of decision. If it's 1, 2, or 3 or 4 winners, the runners up is always the one that gets announced. Doesn't get announced. You like, and they fourth place, third place, and the winner.
And they do like spirit awards for the whole organization, meaning like if your parents fucking went at like cheered, like so if your parents cheered the loudest and like cheered with you and like said all the words and everything, your organization wins an award for that. So you'll get and like so if your team, you should see it. I have videos on my phone because there's dads with like fucking flags and stuff, and everybody's wearing blue and capes.
I would fucking be that dad. Tell you that
it's fucking awesome. Yeah, and they got the megaphone and stuff. Yeah.
Dude, that's kind of great.
It is
like but they only do it for their routine's going, right? Like they're not allowed to make
because when
they're announcing other winners, or
when there's dead time in between, then you go NPS. Yeah, dude, you got to do it. And then the second you see them walk through that door, even when they're runner up and everything, you got to fucking go nuts so that they hear. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So wait,
that's smart.
What if another team is like doing a chant? Would you try to out-chant?
No, you be respectful. It depends on the situation. Now, if their team's up, if their team
now we're getting into it.
Yeah, if their team is on the floor and they're singing along with their team's routine, then you don't talk over that. Because that's messed up.
That's like interference.
Yeah, it is interference. Yeah. But when it's like dead time or there's not a team on the floor and everything, all bets are off. That's when you're trying to like kind of beat the other team.
Fucking go like is there like parents in the crowd that are like getting you going and stuff?
Yes. Hell yeah. Yes, there's a lot. There's like a dozen of them.
What?
Dude,
are any of them dads?
North Penn wins it all the fucking time.
What are North Penn's colors? Are you guys like navy and white?
Yeah, light blue. Navy. It's like light blue, navy, and white.
Yeah.
Liam,
we do mimic a lot of Penn State stuff.
That would make an incredible color scheme for an Ultimate Warrior mask. I'm just saying. If you wanted to be the North Penn Warrior.
Yeah, a lot of people do the eye black, but it's blue. You know what I mean? The one competition we all did, so we all ordered pictures of our kids blown up at CVS. So you go get a poster of your kid, then you glue it onto like a piece of board, and then you have like these big, like your kid's giant head in the stands, and you're like,
dude, that must have killed everybody.
So
like,
it was fucking.
There's no
it was good.
That.
Yeah,
Damn,
it was good.
So there's a spirit award? I had no clue of this. Dude, you should have brought this spirit thing up a long fucking time ago.
Yeah.
I feel like
we're talking about it now, you know?
We could have done a whole podcast on the spirit award, maybe.
Yeah, I kind of love
into this.
I would love if like there's got to be a team too. Like I mean, there's always a rivalry. You know?
There is. The Lower Bucks Outlaws, dude. Their dads are dead serious with it too, dude. They do not fuck around. They win it. They win it a lot. Lower Bucks. They win it a lot. They probably win it the most, honestly. Lower Bucks dads
more than North Penn.
Yeah, Lower Bucks dads are legit, dude. They're fucking hardcore. It's us and Lower Bucks.
Okay, so then you guys like if Lower Bucks is going, you're like, all right, let's fucking go, boys.
Yeah, you have to. You have to because that's the bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if Lower Bucks is like you have to be up with them, or you do not have a chance of winning it.
So these girls are like outside waiting to come in the gym, and the gym's fucking going nuts.
Yes.
With like, we are North Penn.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Damn,
awesome.
now I want to fucking go. I would be recruiting
That,
people for Spirit.
Maddie, all of a sudden you're not so mad if your daughter's like, I just want to do cheer. You're like,
I wouldn't have
great.
been mad if she'd want to
I'll
do it at all.
I'll
Beats the
paint my
fucking
goddamn face like
recitals.
the ultimate warrior.
Dude, if that was the thing, I would be, oh my God, I would be a flag guy. I'd be a poster. I'd be whatever.
Mhm.
You know, I would
Yeah, I
lose.
did the
Like,
face. I did like signs, like WWE
how
signs and
many
stuff.
times have you lost your voice trying to fucking
A
Spirit?
lot, almost every time. By the time you go home, your throat is like killed.
Well, you've
Dude,
also you got on
And
the
we do
road
like we
Friday
do the
night.
cowbells and stuff too. You put cowbells
Oh.
on your hands and just fucking, you know.
Go bananas.
Yeah.
dude, so you're getting into it then, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, you got to, man.
Damn,
You
it's for your kid. It's for your kid.
know?
Dude,
Spirit
that's the
award, man.
best.
They give a spirit award. So what can I do for my kid?
Yeah.
Give
Fucking, I'll
goddamn
be,
spirit.
yeah, dude, that's kind of awesome. That so
Well,
then,
plus it's a trophy that North Penn brings home too. Like
yeah.
that goes in their trophy case,
So that,
it's
but
good.
then, so okay, but then, all right. So I'm trying to, okay. So then, but if you, so then it also behooves you to go to the practice and watch the cheers, so you know like the points of
Yeah.
when to join in.
Yeah.
Oh wow! So it's even more
they send a
important.
thing to us. They send us like they'll give us like a script too. Like here are the words. This is where you need to shout when and everything. And
Yeah.
then they have them. They have us come like on their last couple practices and everything, and then they practice with us. Like, hey, this is when you guys
Damn.
need to yell. This is when you need to do this.
Oh my God. Whoever started the fucking Spirit Award idea at these cheerleading competitions is a
Mhm.
fucking genius.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
'Cause
rules,
that's
man.
like these things must be so fucking rocking. And
they
like
are.
and
They are.
But
everyone has a Spirit Award. Every
isn't
competition has a Spirit Award.
Almost all of them. Some of them don't. There's times where they don't, but most of
Fucking
them do.
gay. Come on.
but isn't
Yeah.
that
What
what
are
you
we
want
doing?
any fans of any sport to do? Is
Right.
just show
Right.
up and get
Yeah.
crazy for a couple hours to help
Yeah.
out the squad? Like that's
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
point. Well, I don't care
Because
what
then
sport you're
think about
playing.
it. Your
Show up,
your
get
kids
nuts.
walk in. Your kids walk in and see everybody like fucking juiced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So like that. It's good for them too. Because then they're
Dude.
like, all right, let's do this.
Imagine like the feeling like a 10-year-old gets when they walk in and see a gymnasium full of adults going fucking nuts
Getting
for their
weird,
routine.
Yeah.
Getting
You
weird.
know?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a feeling I wouldn't be able to fucking sleep. You kidding me? It'd be great. So,
That's
all
great.
right. Ben
That's
D,
great.
we gotta wrap up. What do you got? What's your favorite thing about watching your son play? And what's a bad car ride or whatever? Go.
No such thing as a bad car ride, man. I don't bring it up if he doesn't bring it up. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like if he wants to talk about it, then we'll talk about it. As I've found actually, like if I get in the car and I'm like, "Ah, you dragging ass, whatever, I get nothing. If I don't say anything, all of a sudden, like Monday, he's like, so here's what happened in the game. Like I think I don't know if it's just kids these days or my son in general, but he just needs a little time. So like I don't bring it up. Now when we go out in the backyard the next day and start, working on stuff that wasn't great the day before, I don't mention like, hey, you were bad at this the day before, but we're gonna work on the stuff that like
Yeah.
you weren't doing well the day before. And with my daughter, like, she's just like, I'm going to be a sumo wrestler. And I think she will. And I'll support
Nice.
that as well. But she's a bad motherfucker and she will tackle you. But yeah, I don't bring it up. But I do try to train it in like an easy way, afterwards. If it's,
Yeah. I don't, man, I'm with you.
you're in
It's
a tougher
tough,
spot
like,
as a coach because you have to be like,
well,
Can't
I'll tell
single
you
out.
this. We had a one, like we had a cut. We only lost twice last year, but one of them was the last game of a tournament. And had we won that game, we would have won the tournament. And we had the
Oh.
toughest slate in the tournament, and we lost because I did put my daughter in goal, and I shouldn't have. I should have played another girl at goalie, but I was trying to be more offensively minded, and my daughter said she really wanted to do it, and I was like, all right, fine, if you think you can do it. And it was like a challenge,
Mhm.
and she just, she played okay, but she just didn't do great. But we ended up losing, And I just remember, like, during the game, things getting tense and you're doing stuff. But I was just like, after the game, I just pulled everyone in. I was like, guys, I'm so proud of you. We were missing 4 players. We had no subs for
Yeah,
an entire tournament.
you did
You guys
nothing wrong.
played 3 games in 2 hours, right? Or in 3, you played 3 games in 2.5 hours, right? You played your tails off. We had a girl that was we brought in the one girl's little sister and gave her my daughter's old jersey, like, so we had like one girl
Because
that
we're
wasn't
trying
even
to figure
supposed
it
to
out.
be there, just so we
Yeah.
had enough players to play, and we were missing all our guys. We were missing one of our best scorers, and we still almost won this thing. So, I'm so proud of you guys. You guys played your tails off. And also, the team that did win this didn't play us. So know that. And we play them next. And guess
I
Oh.
what?
do like that. I really like that last piece.
And guess what? We
I
fucking
really
beat
like
them.
that last piece.
So they thought they were the best. We were the only team that beat them all year, and we came from behind to beat them too. We were down 1-0 early, and we came back and we won 2-1. And I was so fucking proud of my girls for that. It was one of the
Nice.
best games of the year. So no, there's times where it's like, hey, I don't look. We can lose, but if you're, Johnny jacking around, I'm not for it. But if you're out there hustling and like just ball just doesn't fall our way, sometimes that
Yeah.
happens.
Can't be mad about that.
But if you're out there working and hustling and trying, I'll never be mad. I'll just, we'll just figure out a way to do it better next time. But all right.
Yep.
Anything before we go?
No, I
Uh,
feel pretty good.
no. Yeah.
All right, good. Well, speaking of feeling pretty good, this is the Working Perspectives Podcast presents For Dads by Dads. I'm Matt Lavelle, he's Bern Poxy, and that handsome son of a bitch is Lee Yum Reese. In case you're wondering, you can find all our stuff and all our content on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. Hang out with us on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast. Join us on Twitter and TikTok at Working P Pod. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com, and please like and subscribe. We'll keep bringing you the sweet, sweet content. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the flippy. Thanks. See ya.